Hello everybody and welcome back. Jeff again, come to you from the Mindcrack vanilla server. I think I said that backwards, whatever. Basically, we last left off, my stuff was all gone. I finally, found that spot where I had died. It's actually right over there. I dug straight up and I came up pretty much at the portal. So had I come in and actually dug straight down, I would have probably gotten my stuff back. And that's probably why the chunk was loaded for so long, is because this was directly beneath my portal. But before I run away from this area, I was going to go back, and then I kind of wanted to check out this landscape a little bit. And I found this weird little cave. So I wanted to check it out real quick with you guys and see if it was anything good while talking about ice. Yep, you heard me. Talking about ice. So this is gonna end pretty quickly, isn't it? Well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? Now let me go up here for a second. Actually, hold on one second. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I am back. And what I said we were going to talk about ice. And what do I mean by that? Well, ice is a wonderful thing for many reasons. I mean, it makes things cold. It's, frozen water is all it is. Luckily, in my apartment, I don't have an apartment. We live in a house. In my house now, we have an ice maker, which is amazing. I love having an ice maker. I've lived in many places that you don't have an ice maker, and I'm quite diligent on making sure I keep ice trays filled up. Whereas other people aren't so diligent on that. I will tell you, I've lived with some people in the past who, everybody likes ice in their stuff, and they're under the impression that if the ice tray isn't empty, there's absolutely no reason to, try to fill it up at all. And what they'll do is they'll leave like one freaking cube of ice in the bottom of the ice tray and be like, "Oh, it's not empty. I can't fill it up, so I'll just leave it in there." So then when you go in to get ice yourself, there's like 2 trays with like 1 or 2 ice cubes in them a piece, and you get really pissed off. I actually usually keep a bucket when I have those cases. I put an ice bucket in the freezer myself so that when ice freezes and I get in there, I just dump the extra ice into this bucket, and I fill up the ice trays anyway, because I like ice. I love to have ice around. It's when I go to sleep, I'm one of those people who needs to have a water at my bedside with me, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night thirsty. Man, have you ever woken up so thirsty that you feel like you haven't drank anything in weeks? Like, you wake up in the middle of the night, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, you've only been sleeping for like 2 hours, and you wake up and you're just like, mouth is so dry, you can't do anything else except try to force your way to, find a drink of water somewhere. So that's why I have ice at the bedside. I'll sometimes wake up in the middle of the night, and my big glass of water is essentially just gone in seconds, because I'll wake up and my throat will be like that, and I'll just start chugging that thing. Delicious, because I hadn't, felt like I hadn't drank in years. But then, unfortunately, like 2 hours later, you wake up with the crazy urge that you're gonna wet the bed unless you quickly get to the bathroom. So you end up having to get up anyway. So I mean, it does kind of backfire in some cases, but whatever. I can deal with that. I'd rather have my thirst quenched and not be parched and get up and use the bathroom. I haven't wet the bed in a long time. I mean, it's been at least 2 or 3 weeks, so it's good. It's not that big of a problem. No, I'm just kidding. It's been more than 2 or 3 weeks. It's been like a month. But anyways, so I was talking about ice for a reason, not so I could talk about my love of ice, but to talk about a party. So Julia's party, before we went to Europe, she had her birthday party, and because her birthday was early in May. And one of the jobs that I was given was drive to the store, get some, I don't know what I'm looking for out in this landscape, by the way, guys. I'm just looking for any like other cool cave openings or whatever. Unfortunately, I do have a full inventory as well, and I need to empty some stuff out of there. There's a pumpkin on the side of that mountain. But I was told to go to the store and get drinks for mixers, so told to go get some, Coke, Diet Coke, orange juice, things like that, and pick up a few bags of ice, because there was going to be a lot of people over there. So I said, okay, I'll go up to the liquor store, and where I know that they sell all the stuff we need, including ice. They have an ice freezer in there. So I go up and I ask him, you know, get all the stuff that I need, and then I ask him for some ice, and he's like, sorry, but we are actually out of ice. Like, I called the guy yesterday. He was supposed to come and fill it up because, you know, I told him that we were out, and he never came. And I was like, well, that sucks, but, you know, no big deal. I'll just go down the street and get some ice from somewhere else. I just got myself lost. I'll just go down the street and get myself ice from somewhere else. So if you've ever gone to get ice, you know the routine. If you've gone to get ice but now don't know exactly what place sells ice, because, you know, I knew the liquor store sold ice, so that's why I had gone there. It's right down the street from the house as well. That was going to be the easy route to go and get the ice. What do you do when you don't know where sells ice? Is you drive in your car and you look for that big ice chest to be outside of an establishment, you know, gas stations, you know, 7-Elevens, whatever. They'll have that big chest outside of it that has ice written right on the side of it, and that's your clue that this place sells ice, so I can go stop in here and sell ice. So I drove down the street, and there's a bunch of gas stations between where I live and the major highway. I'm going to turn back around and head back toward my portal a little bit so I don't get lost, but I just wanted to really look for this landscape and see if there's anything good out here. So I go over, or I start driving, and I pass a bunch of gas stations, and none of them have these ice chests out. And I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do, where I should go to purchase this ice, because I don't know where else would sell it. So I'm about to turn around, and I'm coming up to one of the major intersections in my area. So it gets really, really busy, and really traffic gets really backed up. So I didn't want to like venture too far into it. But out the corner of my eye, I catch the side of what looks like, it's a gas station that's sitting on a corner, like a triangle type corner. So let me put some torches down here, and so when I come up, I know which direction I was trying to head. So it's a gas station that's on like this triangle corner. So it's actually got entrances on both sides of the building. Well, kind of like they built the gas station in a triangle as well, so that it fit the corner that it was like shoved into. But it's got entrances on both sides of it and gas pumps on both sides of it as well. So I saw it, what I thought was it through basically the building, not like x-ray vision through the building, but peeking out the other corner of the building that I couldn't see. So I parked, and I walked into the gas station from the side that didn't have the ice chest, and I started walking up to the counter, and it's one of those ones that has like the, you know, the bulletproof glass between you and the and the clerk. You know, one of those ones in the wonderful neighborhoods that everybody, you know, wants to be in and live in all the time and likes to hang out in, because they're have such a safe feeling and everything with those. But I walk up to the counter, and I'm waiting behind this guy who's like arguing with the cashier about buying like a specific brand of cigar rolling paper, essentially. I don't know, if you don't know what those are for, you don't want to know what those are for. No, you can know what those are for. It's not a big deal. It's for smoking drugs. So he was wanting to get the exact right one so he could roll his, you know, his whatever he was rolling in it properly. And this happens actually quite often. People be like, no, not the cigaretto. I want the you know, whatever other brand it is. I have no idea which brand it is. But so he's talking to him for like a long time trying to get the right one. So he finally gets the right one and moves on his way. But I've been standing there for like 2 minutes at this point, just waiting. And so I finally get up to the counter and I say, can I get 3 bags of ice? And the guy looks at me with this look like I've asked him the most ridiculous question in the world. Like I walked in and asked him if this was a place that I could buy cocaine. He just looked at me and goes, no. And I was like, no, like you don't want to sell me ice? I was like, I don't want a cup of ice, because a lot of people go into places and, you know, dang it, I need to eat. They'll go into places and try to get like free things without, you know, purchasing anything. A lot of places around here have like signs that'll be like no free water, or, you know, water only with purchase or something like that, because people go up to like the fountain drinks and try to like, you know, get a bunch of free stuff. I don't know why people do that. They just like hang out in the street and demand free things. I was at Subway yesterday, and a lot of people hang out outside of this Subway, and they constantly, whenever I'm in the subway, there's constantly about 6 or 7 people who walk in while I'm ordering or getting my sandwich made. That'll, stupid little babies, that'll walk in and be like, yo, give me a water. Like, and they say it just like that too. Like, I mean, just not even a please or thank you, just, you know, give me water. And then they get angry and start arguing with the people that they want the bathroom opened up so they can use it. It's one of those ones that's bathroom for patrons only, and they keep it locked, and they'll try to claim that their free water is makes them a patron, so they want to use the bathroom. I don't know. Long story. That's going a little off tangent though. But anyways, so I was like, no, 3 bags of ice, like what I want. And he goes, we don't sell ice. And I was like, oh, you don't sell ice? And I glanced to the right side of me, and I looked, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that is, there's my portal. I was like, I'm pretty sure that is an ice chest sitting right next to me, but maybe I'm wrong. And I was like, oh, you don't sell ice? And he goes, no, we don't sell ice. So I walked out the other door just because I was curious. I was like, man, what was this thing that I was staring at that I thought was this, you know, big ice chest thing? So I go out the door and I look, and it is, I will insert picture right here if I remember. Let me go into this portal here. Ooh, that's scary. I will insert picture right here. As you can see, it is very clearly an ice chest outside this building. And I went back a couple days later to verify and to take this picture because I was very, very confused. I'm this way, right? Yeah. I was very, very confused at why this guy was telling me that they didn't sell ice. So I walked outside and I looked at this ice chest, and I went back in and I was like, no. Ice out of the ice chest. And I started pointing at the ice chest from the thing. And he just looked at me and started, he basically like sat down. He didn't respond to me at this point, and he just like pulled out a paper and started reading it, kind of like the attitude of, I already told you, dumbass, what don't you understand? Was like exactly the attitude that he was having. And I was trying to sit there and I'm trying to comprehend in my head what I'm doing wrong in my assumption that this gas station sells ice when they have a big ice chest sitting outside of it that says ice on it, and all this guy is telling me is they don't sell ice. And so I'm sitting there for a second, like when he ignores me, understanding what he's doing, like the attitude that he's having, because I don't know, maybe, I'm trying to think, in his head, let's say you didn't have that ice chest sitting there and you've never sold ice at this place, and you have somebody that comes in and demands ice and then starts arguing with you and telling you that, yes, you're selling ice. You'd get very frustrated and be like, what? I'm just going to stop talking to this person because they obviously aren't listening to what I'm saying. And so that was what this guy's attitude was. And I was sitting there trying to comprehend in my head if it's acceptable for him to have this attitude, because am I being the one that's being unreasonable, since he has specifically told me they don't sell ice, and I keep arguing with him that I want ice out of the ice chest, and he keeps telling me they don't sell ice, so he stops ignoring me. And I would get that if the ice chest didn't exist outside. So I try to like gather my thoughts on what I'm going to say, and I'm like, no. The ice chest outside, bags of ice, the big cooler that says ice on it. I need ice out of there. He goes, we don't sell ice, only have cups of ice. And I was like, are you out of ice? Because that's what I'm thinking is, maybe he doesn't know how to communicate the fact that they're out of ice, or they stopped selling ice. So I'm saying, are you out of ice? Is the machine empty? And he just looked at me and he goes, I told you, we don't sell ice, now leave. And that's exactly what he told me, to leave. And I was just like, what is going on at this establishment? Because I'm still baffled. This was like a week and a half ago, and I am still absolutely baffled by exactly the turn of events that happened here, because I can't comprehend why this guy couldn't just say something along the lines of, we're out of ice, or we stopped selling ice. Like, I'm blatantly pointing to this machine, and now I'm getting confused. Is maybe I'm illiterate. Maybe I can't read 3 letters together, because maybe ice means something else. I was so confused and unsure that I like literally, I walked outside back into the parking lot and I'm standing there like just in a baffled state, about to get into my car. And the ironic thing is too, I look across the street and there's a 7-Eleven across the street on the other side of this major intersection I didn't want to come to, but it also has a big ice chest out front in it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like cut my losses here. We'll go over to the 7-Eleven. And the first thing I did, I walked into the 7-Eleven. And this is funny as well. I walk into the 7-Eleven and I walked up to the counter and I said, do you guys sell bags of ice? And he goes, yeah. And he looked at me with a puzzled look as in, yeah, the ice chest is like sitting basically right there by the door. How would you not notice the fact that we sell ice? And I was like, good. I'd like some bags of ice, please. Then it was ironic because, oh, look, it's my Connect 4. I thought it was ironic because of the fact that they actually didn't even keep all their ice outside. They actually had ice inside the 7-Eleven as well. So they had an ice cooler outside filled with ice as well as the ice cooler. Who knows? Maybe they got a lot of customers that come over to them from this angry other station that's across the street who has the advertisement for ice sitting outside and not the ability to actually physically sell ice. I was just so confused, and I don't know. It was a story I wanted to tell you guys because I was just... human nature. Like, one of the guys in my hospital is a really big one of the doctors. He's also well studied in what's called human interface engineering, and I could apply that to this concept. And the whole concept, this is cool, taters on a stick. The whole concept, push for taters. Boop. The whole concept of human interface engineering is to design things like doors. Yeah, he does a presentation. He has a bunch of pictures where he'll show like a door, and it'll be one of those doors that you can't quite comprehend if it's a push door or a pull door the way it's designed. I want to see this thing work again. Bing! Awesome. You can't comprehend if it's a push door or a pull door because of the fact that there's no signs, and just the way the handle is. Nobody's played the game yet. The way the handle is, it's impossible to tell. Because like, I'm sure you've seen doors like that, and they've done studies where they'll set up cameras and stuff outside of these doors and calculate the number of people who push when they're supposed to pull or pull when they're supposed to push, because they don't understand, like, because there's no obvious signs on the door. Or a shower knob that you can't tell hot from cold until you actually physically turn it on. You can't just look at it and tell if it's hot or cold which direction you're going to turn the knob, because it doesn't actually clearly indicate it. Like the H is written on the top and the C is written on the bottom, and you're like, I don't know if it's the handle that is supposed to be pointing toward the H, or if it's the opposite end of the handle that's supposed to be pointing toward the H. So it's things like that. It's designing things in such a way that make them intuitive. And when you have a big ice machine outside of your establishment that says ice on it, don't look at somebody like they're a freaking idiot because they come in asking you for ice. Don't ignore them when they continue asking for ice, because they're not grasping the concept that you don't sell it because you advertise that you sell it. It'd be like going to McDonald's and asking for a Big Mac, and it happens to be a location that decides they don't want to participate in Big Mac. Because, you know, you always see those commercials that say, you know, prices and participation may vary for, like, you know, a certain type of sandwiches and things like that. Well, maybe this location didn't want to participate in selling a Big Mac, but you're going to look at them like they're insane when they ask you for a Big Mac, yet you're going to have pictures of a Big Mac all over the place as well. I mean, it's one of those things. Human interface engineering, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But it was a very frustrating experience because of the fact that I was so confused and didn't know what to do, or if I was doing something wrong, or if this guy was doing something wrong. I just didn't get it. But either way, make sure I get that picture in this video is the hope. And I will end this episode here and see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, please. Hit that like button. It really helps me out know what content people are enjoying on my videos. And if you're watching and haven't yet subscribed, subscribe. It greatly helps me out. So thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Vanilla ice, ice, baby. Dun 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 dun.